So, welcome to the Quantum Shift podcast, where we explore the stories, insights, and transformations of people who are creating meaningful impact in the world. A quantum shift is a significant change in perspective, direction, identity, or circumstance that moves you to a new level of possibility. I'm your host, Keren Kilgore, author, coach, publisher, and founder of Quantum Shift Media, where our mission is to help people unlock their full potential and share their message with the world. Each episode, I sit down with authors, coaches, speakers, and business owners who are making a difference one bold shift at a time. So, whether you're ready to launch your book, expand your influence, or create your own quantum shift, you're in the right place. Our guest is Dale, and welcome, Dale. It's absolutely a pleasure to have you here. Um,
Well, thank,
tell me a little bit about what you do and how you make an impact in the world.
thank you. I'm honored to be here. My name is Dale Young. I'm in the Fort Worth, Texas region,
Great.
and I do most of my work via Zoom, so I'm
Yeah,
very comfortable with Zoom and
yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
So I did 50 years almost in IT world,
Mhm.
and I transitioned. It was actually about a 10-year transition period into coaching. And now that I've been in coaching for 10 years plus another five, I'm now kind of adding back in a lot of the technology stuff and the computer stuff in there. But of course, a lot of that has a lot of leadership involved, a lot of growing teams, a lot of building teams and such like that. So that's kind of a quick overview of where I'm sitting and everything. As far as quantum shift, I've been through two or three, I think, in my own life here. So I'm well prepared to talk about any of those.
Yes, beautiful. So, what inspired you to begin this journey to do what you're doing? Yeah, coaching and
So the real shift happened back in 1992. I was working for a defense contractor in Australia for the U.S. government. Actually, it was a joint base for the U.S. and Australian government. And they had just made a change to how things were taxed. We were making huge bonuses while we were down there, and we were making all kinds of money. And they had started taxing one of the benefits, and I mean it was a really minor amount. But seven of us were sitting around the lunch table, and you know how they go, how you want to start personal, start complaining, and it just kind of amplifies around and around,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was getting to the point, well, okay, this is enough. And out of my mouth came these words. This is just a job, not a career.
Mm,
And that was a shift in my own internal perspective where I realized I had been pursuing money and pursuing a job.
yes,
And, I didn't know it at the time because I wasn't even a Christian at the time. But God was speaking through my words and saying, you've got a different destiny. You've got a different place to go.
yeah.
And so over the next 10 years, I started changing my life. And it was a major change after that. So.
Yeah, I can imagine that was definitely a quantum shift. Once you moved, and this is moving into coaching, where did that take you? Moving into coaching?
No, that
Writing your
actually
book?
took me more to a career first. And
Okay,
I was actually part of a startup company
okay,
in 2000, a tech startup company in
okay.
2000. Can you
Great.
say bad timing? That
Yes,
was not
yeah,
the best time to
yeah,
start a
right,
startup. But we
right.
actually did really well. We hit number 10 on the entrepreneur's fastest growing company in the US. So we actually did well, but then 3 years later, it all fell apart because we really didn't have the company
Yeah.
structured well, the leadership wasn't solid, all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And it was during that time that I started going through some personal development, some personal growth, learning more about leadership, learning more about teams, all that sort of stuff. And I got into an experiential program called Pathways that's down here in the DFW region and started growing. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it was kind of like some counseling and some group coaching all rolled into a program altogether. And so that kind of opened my eyes. And really in 2009, I heard a talk about coaching that was different. And it was like, okay, that sounds really interesting. And one thing I'd left out is back in 1998, I'd actually dedicated my life to Christ and actually started following Christ.
Oh,
And
good.
in 2009, when I'm looking for this coaching stuff, I'm looking on the internet because I'm a techie geek, right?
Yep.
And so I'm looking around. I don't find anything that actually combines spiritual and coaching.
Mm.
Doesn't have any kind of faith aspect to it. And so I say, okay, I guess this is not what you want me to do, God. And I
Yeah.
put it on the shelf. So I've changed my life around and I'm really following God at this point. And
Beautiful.
then a couple of years later, walking through half price books, little local used bookstore type of thing. And this book kind of jumps off the shelf at me. And the title of the book is Christian Coaching. And
Okay.
it's kind of
Okay.
like, okay, this is what you
Okay.
want. And so I started finding out more about coaching. I started doing some coach training in 2011.
Yes.
And that's when I got my first actual paying client as a coach.
Great.
And it was just one of those things. I was still working full time in IT for another 10 years.
Okay.
Well, part-time, full-time for
Okay.
5 years and
Okay.
part-time for another five.
Yeah.
But then, it was just kind of a transition at that point. That's
Beautiful.
where the coaching has kind
Beautiful.
of jumped into the story.
So, did you ever feel like giving up? Was there ever a time that was, you got discouraged or wondered?
There was definitely a time, and this gets into my personal story a little bit,
Yeah.
because I was in 2012, my wife of 30 years at that point, 29 years at that point, starts asking for a divorce.
Mm.
And so from 2012 to the end of 2015, I was trying to save the marriage. I was trying to get her to come back and commit and recommit and all that. That wasn't happening, and it was final in 2016.
Mm.
Well, at the same time, this 5 year period of time from 2011 to 2016, I'd been telling my bosses at work, because I was a director at work, I couldn't just walk away,
Yeah.
not and be,
In,
honest with
in
myself.
integrity. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And
Right.
so I'd been telling the bosses, hey, if we can ever make it work out, that it's a win for the company and it's a win for me and it's a win for the team and it's a win for the clients,
Yes.
then I'd like to think about going to part-time and seeing how we could work that out. And so about 2 weeks after the divorce was final, my boss comes to me and says, well, Dale, I think we figured out a way to make this work.
Wow.
We'd like you to go to halftime, starting in the week. And
Wow.
I'm going, okay, God.
Wow.
What are
Timing.
you really telling me at
The
this point?
timing.
Do
Yes.
I do
Right.
I
Right.
do I give up on this whole
Right.
coaching thing and just stay full time in the IT world? Or do I actually jump in and pursue it? And of course, I jumped in and pursued it. So, it turned out that for the next 5 years, I was basically a coach to my boss that had asked me to go to full time to part time.
Great. That's great. So, tell me about your book. You've written a book. Let me see. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. And tell us about that.
This is the book, The Power of
Okay.
Aligning Your Faith and Business,
Very good.
The Proven Way to Clear Direction, Fulfilling Results, and Joyful Peace.
Very good.
And the reason I put that subtitle in there is I believe that everybody at the core, especially all business owners and especially all business entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
they really want that clear direction. They want to know, all right, am I going the right way? Just like I had to pray very hard when that, do you want to go to part-time
Yeah.
came up in my
Yeah.
life. So
That was a big
you know,
shift. Yeah.
you have to know that clear
Right.
direction. And
Yeah.
God doesn't always lay out the full plan for us.
Oh,
And I think if he does that, we would run screaming away from it.
yes.
I know I would have at that point.
Right. Right.
But that clear direction, it's like, okay, is this the right next step? Is this the clear next step?
Yeah.
And part of that is that you always want to have fulfilling results. You want to make an impact.
Yeah.
People want to have an impact. They want to have a purpose.
Yeah.
They want to have meaning in their life.
Yeah.
And I think it was Steve Jobs that said, we all want to leave our dent in the universe.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's exactly,
Yeah.
that's a very, he wasn't a Christian, but it's a very inspiring quote to me, that it captures the feeling that I have.
Yeah.
So that's the fulfilling results. How do we make a life that actually produces a
right.
legacy that we're proud of.
And what would you say to that? Yes.
Well, what I say to that is that when you get the clear direction, you can know which way is the fulfilling results.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then that gets you to the joyful peace,
Yeah.
because
And
that's really what we all
and
want to
that's the
start
key.
with.
Absolutely. We want peace.
Yeah.
And yeah, and whatever isn't peaceful, we need to remove. We need to take that out. So how has this journey changed you emotionally and spiritually and even professionally?
Well, professionally, it's changed all the direction, you know.
Yeah, completely.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I went through a lot of stuff in that 5 years when I was part-time in IT, going trying to figure out what I wanted to be as a coach and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And really, on the personal side, it just deepened my growth in God and my spiritual walk and everything. And so, really, about 2022, I got this phrase. You know, I was praying about it, and it came in. It just clear as a bell. Dale, your calling is to inspire calling.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
it's taken me like 3 years to really unpack that. You
Beautiful.
know, what is calling? Well, calling, you know, I talked about purpose, and we all have a purpose, okay? And I believe we all have a unique purpose that was given to us by God.
Yeah.
And so I call that your divine purpose,
Yes. That's
okay?
right. That's
And the
right.
calling then is the way that God is pulling you towards your own divine purpose,
Right. Right.
okay? And
Right.
so my calling is to inspire other people
Yeah.
to really lean into their calling, lean
Yeah.
into God, lean into what He's telling them in whatever form or fashion He communicates with them, because we're all unique, right?
Yeah.
But that call is on your life. It's
Yeah.
pulling you forward towards something that you can't see,
It's a
but it's
mission.
really the purpose for your life.
Yeah, it's your purpose and your mission. I often say that your purpose is where you're going and the goals are how you get there. And so they're not the same. They're very much not the same. So what's a mindset shift or action that you would like listeners to really take away?
Oh gosh.
And you're coaching business people, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Well, first of all, you have to realize that a lot of the stuff that is urgent in business
yeah,
isn't really urgent. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's not important in the long run. And
yeah,
so, you know, one of the things that Stephen Covey says in, you
yeah,
know, Seven Habits of Highly Successful People
yeah.
is start with end in mind.
Yes,
So what is the end? You
yeah,
know, let's think about it. Fast forward to the end of your life. What are you leaving behind? What's your legacy?
exactly.
And I like to say it this way. I like to ask the question, has anybody ever thought about it this way? Do you know the difference between an inheritance and a legacy?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I like to say it this way. An inheritance is what you leave to someone.
Mm.
A legacy is what you leave in someone.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's
Okay.
beautiful, Dale.
And so when you think about it, what kind of legacy, what
Beautiful,
kind of things are you leaving in the people around you?
beautiful. I love that. And how that applies very much to business, in how you conduct your business, how you conduct who you're working with, conduct yourself when you're working with them. Um, yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, we've all struggled with dealing with a business that just doesn't seem to pay attention to us, right? You know,
Right.
I
Yes.
mean, I just got a letter from a
Yeah.
guy trying to take me to small claims court because I didn't pay a bill or something like that, you know,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, you put me on a contract that I thought was a month-to-month contract that was a year, and you know, all of this sort of stuff, right? And so my credit card expired. I didn't even know about it. I've been paying it regularly for like most of the year, and now he wants to take me to small claims court for the whole year worth of
Mm.
amount type of thing. You know, well, okay, that's not dealing with you in an honest fashion. That's not dealing with you in a way
Right.
that's integrity and honor seeking.
Right.
And that's all of those are very important to me. Now, and I understand they're values that other people don't have, okay? but I don't choose to work with those kinds of people,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And so I want to have a business that people want to work with me.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you another example. I've recently got back into my tech roots, and I have a Go High Level agency now. Go High Level's a
Great.
CRM product that,
Yeah, I
lets
use
you.
it. That's what I use. I use GHL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And so I have an agency, but one of the reasons I set up my agency was the previous agency did
Yeah.
not help me set up my own agency. When I finally got my own agency set up and I wanted to transfer my old GHL account, which had been in existence for 3 or 4 years at that point. So I had a massive amount of stuff in. When I wanted to transfer it over, they absolutely refused to transfer my account over.
Oh, no, no.
Okay. And so in my agency, I say right up front in the contract that I have people sign,
Yeah.
I say, I'm not going to hold your data hostage. If you want to
No.
move it someplace, I will work with you to
Yeah,
make that.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what is a breakthrough or success or something you're celebrating?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm celebrating. Actually, it's been now 7 days that we had our 5 year anniversary with my new bride.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
so
Wonderful.
we had a chance to go to her sister's house down in Bernie for a couple of weeks and
Wonderful.
dog set her dog down there.
Okay,
And so we had 2 weeks of being in hill country of Texas,
great,
beautiful views and all that sort of stuff.
great, great.
And we always love Christian concerts, and we've got 3 more concerts already booked for the rest of this year.
Okay, very good. Awesome. That's
Looking forward to that.
that's good. That's good. And what legacy or a ripple effect do you want to leave in the world?
I want to leave a legacy of love, a legacy of calling, and a legacy of people that are really making their own progress and following their own calling in the world. And part of the book is I've got 4 people that I've coached that gave me permission to put them in the book,
Mhm.
and they're all making a difference in the world.
Great, 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 great. Talk about what it was like to write that book. Tell me about your experience writing and publishing. I help authors write, publish, and market books. And
Yeah.
so interested in your perspective on what it was like to write it.
Well, gosh. So I've been working with a guy, Rich Kozak. His logo is Rich Brands. His company name is richbrands.org. And he's a great guy about helping you get really focused and rebranding on what it is you're actually doing. And so I've been working with him for several years. I've been through all the process. One of the pieces of the process is we'd put together things that you could write information about. And one of those titles was The Power of Aligning Your Faith and Business.
Very good.
And it was kind of like, he said, that could be a book, and it was just kind of an offhand thing. But a few months later, it was God said, okay, it's time for you to write a book. Okay.
Very
Now, my
good.
journey is I've been in 6 collaboration books.
Hmm.
All of them have went to #1 bestseller. Okay, so I've seen the process several times,
Yep.
from a inside point of view, right? But I had not run the process myself, and so I said, "Well, God, do you want me to write a book? Do you want me to make it a #1 bestseller?" And He said, "Yeah." It just was that feeling. Of course you do. You're at the point where you can make this happen.
Yeah, good.
And so about May last year, so that's 13 months ago as we were recording this, um, I just started putting some stuff together. I put together an outline and, would the chapters look like? And I thought I was going to have 10 chapters and all that sort of stuff. And I was just kind of poking along at it. Didn't seem to have any urgency on it or anything. And got to January of this year, basically 6 months ago, and God says, "Okay, it's time to get it finished.
Very
This
good.
is this is your #1 priority now. Get this finished."
Very good.
And so I got it out by April 7th. It went from 10 chapters to 7 chapters.
Okay.
I added in a forward and some other stuff. I did not know I was going to have appendices, but I ended up with 6 appendices up until the last week, and then a seventh appendice just kind of showed up.
Okay.
And I really love that one because the title is Jesus. history's most successful entrepreneur.
Oh, beautiful.
So, and
That's
so I kind of got all this together and started working with my VA to, all right, how do we publicize it? Put together a list and got some people, to help me publicize it and all that sort of stuff.
good.
And released it April 7th, and it hit number one bestseller in business ethics
Great.
and three hot new release categories.
Very good. Well done.
Yeah,
Well done,
yeah,
Dale.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. It
So
was it was a it was quite a journey.
it is. It is. It's really, yes, publishing, writing and publishing and marketing. There's three phases of it. And they're all very distinct. And so well done on getting that. That's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that. So
And
what's,
what I find right now for
yeah,
myself is I
yeah,
like to help other people through this process.
yeah, yes,
Whether
very
that's
good.
with a book or whether that's with a business or whether
Yeah,
that's with technology. It's
yeah,
all
yeah.
putting it together. I kind of sit at the intersection of business, faith, and technology.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good. In closing, what's one thing you want listeners to remember?
Uh, I look at it this way that there's really three pieces to everybody. There's your own personal identity, there's your corporate identity or your group identity, your or family, your church, your all of that sort of stuff. Both of those relate to
Yeah,
who you are at a core level.
yeah,
And then if you know that, then you can really focus on the why.
yeah.
The who and the why, you put those together and you really have a way to go. And so
Beautiful,
when I look at it, I look at it as identity, your personal identity, your community identity, and your
beautiful,
calling pulling you towards your purpose. And
beautiful,
in the book, I actually call that the triad of significant impact.
beautiful.
It's significant because you may have one of those and go make an impact, but it's not going to be significant unless you have all three.
All three. Okay, very good. That's a good. And who do you love working with?
Well, I certainly love working with Christian business owners, typically less than 10 employees or 10 contractor type people. So I like working with the smaller people as opposed to, if I worked with larger people, I could probably make more money, but I'm 72 years old and I'm semi-retired and I just want to help the world right now.
Great. I love that. And how can people reach you?
My email is dale@coachdale.com and my website is coachdale.com. So you can find me at either one of those.
Very
And,
good.
and I do
Very,
have a lead magnet that it's coachdale.com/first step.
yep.
It's a spiritual gifts assessment that people can take for free that will then allow me to look at their AI profile out there on the internet, look at
Beautiful.
their spiritual gifts and say, okay, these are matching up, or maybe here's one that you're not using right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I may take that with you. I may do that myself. That's
And
great. It's
I
all
offer it out to anybody,
That's
so I
great.
love
It's
it.
really, yeah, it's really good to know, I mean, your identity is so important and functioning in that, knowing who you are is absolutely essential. So Dale, thank you so much for bringing that to the world. I mean, you're definitely making an impact and your quantum shift really is helping everybody. It's helping many, many people. Thank you for being true to you. Yep.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
Very good. So thank you for joining us on the Quantum Shift podcast. I hope this conversation sparks something within you, a reminder that your story, your voice, and your purpose have the power to shift not only your life, but the world around you. If you're ready to unlock your potential and share your message in a bigger way, I invite you to connect with me at quantumshiftmedia.com. Together, we'll transform your story into income, impact, and inspiration for others. Until next time, keep creating, keep rising, and remember, every moment is an opportunity to make your own quantum shift.